देखना.
Good morning, everyone. What's going on? Welcome to the Morning Tea. I'm your girl, Alex Schiffman. And as we mentioned last week, Courtney Revolution is on a well-deserved vacation. So joining me today is the amazing Monty Bolanos. Hey, girl.
Hi, girl. How are you?
I am doing well. So excited to have you on the show today. Tea Tribe, of course. You know how this works. Show Monty some love in the chat, because today we're going to be spilling a lot of hot tea. So Monty, for those that don't know you, give us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself to the Tea Tribe.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm Monty, short for Montserrat, but only my mom calls me that, especially when I'm in trouble. But that's where that comes from. I'm a big sports lover, not golf like you, Alex. Maybe you can teach me. I have a terrible swing, but maybe you can help me out a little bit. But I love sports. Yeah, big Clippers fan from LA, not a Lakers fan. We can talk about that later, you guys. That's not what the morning tea is about. So we'll talk about that later. And I have a big dog, so if you hear him, I apologize. He's a 90-pound pit bull, and he does whatever he wants. So he might even come on camera. Like, we're just gonna let him do it. Dexter.
Dexter. Ooh, are you a Dexter fan? Speaking of the show, Dexter.
Yes, I was a big fan of the show. I hated the way it ended, separate conversation. And I got him around maybe like season 3 of the show. And we had recently put my family dog away, and put him down. He was a little older. His name was Rex. So the idea was, the show was popular, but the idea was to call him Dex, like Rex.
Oh, so cute. Well, Tea Tribe, I see. Chris is a little mad in the chat that you're not a Lakers fan.
I know.
So I'm feeling, I don't know if you watched that game. I know this isn't a sports show, but we're going to the ship. Have you seen that?
And you should. You should be going to the championship. There's no shocking result here. Of course, they should be going to the champion. I grew up in a anti-Laker household like my whole life. I don't even know why. So I've just been like a Clippers fan. It's a very tough team to cheer for. They let me down a lot, but it's okay. It's okay.
Well, you know what, Monty? We may not agree on sports teams, but I'm from LA too, so at least we have that in common. You know what I mean?
Right. For sure.
All right. Well, Tea Tribe, if you're just joining us, let us know, of course, where are you watching from? Monty, the Morning Tea goes international, so we love to hear where everyone is watching from. Kat says, aloha, Alex and Monty. Gabby says, not a Lakers fan either. Well, to be honest, not really a fan of basketball. Well, good, because we're talking about celeb news here, so don't worry. Happy Media saying happy birthday. Happy birthday to you? Who are we saying happy birthday to? But you know how this works. So we have a great show today, but before we talk about what we have on the show today, Monty, we got to talk about this. I don't know if you saw this, but there has been this parody going around with WAP from Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and Disney movies. So this is pretty crazy. Tea Tribe, if you haven't checked it out yet, it's insane. I don't know what's happening. Monty, did you have a chance to check it out?
I did. I watched it. And I went through a lot of emotions. As a Disney fan, you're like, but no, don't put the aristocrat kitty in this. What are you doing? Like, it made me laugh, though. It made me laugh. And at this point, 2020, I'm not shocked about anything anymore.
Yes, I completely agree with you. As a Disney fan, I did not like seeing Disney movies paired with WAP. It just doesn't work for me. It's not the Disney brand. It makes you feel uncomfortable. And I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but it's probably going to go viral, because when those types of things happen, it does really well. But I'm not here for it. I want to shout out Karina in the chat. I didn't realize it's Karina's birthday. So Monty, Karina is one of our moderators. So she basically makes sure the chat goes the way it's supposed to be. We love her. You're going to love her. But it's her birthday. So happy birthday to Karina.
Happy birthday. Yes.
All right. So I'm going to let you know. Oh, Cassie said she's hearing a pup in the background. Really? I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, he's there. You guys, I'm like over here just like giving him looks and I'm like, cállate. And he's not. He's just gonna do whatever he wants. I can't help it. I can't help it.
All right, well, Monty, let me break down what we have on the show today. So, guys, we're talking about Megan Thee Stallion's response to Tory Lanez. This is pretty intense. The story is continuing. Plus, Nene Leakes is calling out Wendy Williams and Andy Cohen regarding her split from Real Housewives of Atlanta. We'll break that down for you. Plus, Demi Lovato's now ex-fiance, Max Eric, speaking out about his split with Demi. And Monty, I can't wait to talk about this with you because this is just crazy. We've also got some new music news to talk about surrounding BTS and Blackpink. We got a K-pop, segment on the show today. Behind the Kar Jenner gates, though, we're going to be talking about Kylie and Travis having some dinner dates. No photos, though. And a Kar Jenner may be joining Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is crazy. Plus, Kim and Kanye look like they may be working on their marriage after a rough patch. And then finally, for our OMT story of the day, we're talking about Jordyn Woods' latest interview, shedding some light on the infamous Tristan Thompson incident. So stick around for that, T-Tribe. We have a lot to discuss. Are you ready for this, Monty? Yes. All right, well, Cassidy's asking if Dex speaks Spanish. My Polish family talks their dog in Polish.
I just responded, Dexter is bilingual, y'all. He speaks English and Spanish.
Wonderful. Wow, you have a multi-talented animal, so good for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank Grandma. Thank Grandma.
Grandma, okay. Well, thank Grandma. All right, well, before we get into our tea, we have to do a little cheers. So, T-Tribe, let's cheers to Monty's first show. Cheers. Ooh, are you a chocolate fan?
I am. Oh, you can't go wrong with chocolate. Just a little, just like a smidge.
Just a little Ghirardelli. Okay. All right, so as you know, our first segment is You Missed It, guys. And these are all the stories that you may have missed overnight. Don't worry, we handle all the trending tea for you. And first up, we're talking about this Megan Thee Stallion response. All right, so less than a day after Tory Lanez dropped his album Daystar, which set out to discredit Megan Thee Stallion's claims that Tory shot her at a pool party earlier this year, Megan's team has come out with a response. So speaking out in response to the album, Megan's lawyers released a statement that Tory and his team have started a smear campaign to continue discrediting Megan's claims. So in a statement to Variety, one of Megan's lawyers said, quote, "We have been made aware of manipulated text messages and invented email accounts that have been disseminated to the media in a calculated attempt to peddle a false narrative about the events that occurred on July the 12th. A smear campaign can't change the truth." This was from a representative for Megan Thee Stallion. So while Tory Lanez reps deny this, emails had been received by multiple outlets with a link to one of Tory's former bodyguards who attempts to dispel any rumors of violence against women on Tory's part. So TMZ also received an email from a Miami nightclub that stated Megan's management, Rock Nation, attempted to influence a plaintiff in a case against Lanez. So fans also read into a photo posted by Megan over the weekend showing her posing with rings that you just saw that spell out FU with the caption "Mood" as a possible response to Tory's album. So Monty and T-Tribe, what do you think of the latest development in this case, and what do you make of these emails?
I can't believe that this is still the topic of conversation when it comes to this story. I feel you sent some messages and apologized, not really kind of taking responsibility, but blaming it on something. And now you haven't really been vocal, except that your streaming numbers were down. So then you decided to be vocal, but not really on the important stuff. I'm just like, dude, you need to sit down. You need to take a
Yeah.
seat. Y'all need to go to court and figure it out. But this back and forth, this did happen. No, it didn't happen. I'm tired of it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm over this limbo of this story.
Right. I agree. I think that, speaking out in the press is not how this should be played out. This was a very, very serious incident and should be taken to the court and left in the court. And I hope, whatever comes out of this, the truth comes out, and whether it's, Megan's truth or someone else's truth, it's going to come out. And I think we should leave it to the court. I've had enough of this. Wesley in the chat is saying, at this point, I'm just waiting for Megan to destroy him on a diss track. That's a good point. Now, Monty, do you think Megan will come back?
100%. 100%. We're going to hear her diss him, definitely. But again, it's like, why are we... I hope she disses him when it's over. Like, they went to court, he was found guilty, and then she comes out with her diss. Don't keep this going. Don't stretch this out.
Right. And, she's stayed pretty classy this entire time. She's always just shown him up in, like, success. She was on the cover of Time. She dropped WAP. She performed at the VMAs. Like, she's doing it like a power woman, and I love her kind of responses in, like, a powerful way, because that's what I love about Megan Thee Stallion. And like you said, once it's done at the court, then she'll come back with the track saying, I told you so. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we have somebody in the chat that is making a good point. Lady T Joy, she put, my thoughts, Megan's career will be done if people find she's lying. And I agree. Like, if it comes out that this is a lie from Megan, it will destroy her career. I totally agree if it comes out that she's lying.
I agree as well. Hopefully that, isn't the case. And like we said, the truth will eventually come out. But I agree with Lady T Joy. This could be pretty serious if this comes out that, she's fabricating it. Karina says, Megan said what she needed to say, and Tori is over here trolling people so that he can make a sad attempt at getting people to listen to his album. I agree. I don't like, it's very, very poor taste that Tori is kind of capitalizing on this moment. It's not a celebratory moment. It's a devastating moment. It's something very serious and not to take lightly, and it's just kind of disgusting to me. All right. Well, let's move on to some other kind of shocking news. So NeNe Leakes' departure from Real Housewives of Atlanta is anything but cordial. So this has been an ongoing conversation as well. NeNe responded to some criticism she received from Andy Cohen and Wendy Williams during Watch What Happens Live. So when asked about her feelings regarding NeNe's departure, Wendy shot back with, quote, I believe that this is not a truth. NeNe has quit the show several times and you'll have her back. NeNe likes attention, dramatic attention. I don't know what NeNe is going to be doing for money. I'm not trying to count coins, but the Housewives is that one thing that all the girls use to promote their stuff. And even though NeNe is as famous as Bethany Frankel, she's been able to turn it into a multi-million-dollar situation. And what are they going to do? Is it going to be like Greg and NeNe? Are you going to give them another show? That's boring. Well, Muncie, that did not go over well with NeNe, who called out Wendy, tweeting, quote, she's on cocaine, so they should stop using her to talk. They both need my help with their poor ratings. She went on to speak about Andy, tweeting, quote, the racist is the master manipulator. They using me for ratings like they have always done. NeNe also spoke out about how she has some truth of her own to tell Andy Cohen after Andy Cohen praised Teddi Mellencamp on speaking her truth about her departure from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills last week. She said, quote, Andy said he respected Teddi for telling the truth about her exit. Well, I can't wait to tell my truths. I hope I get just as much respect. So a lot of bad blood has been stirring up surrounding NeNe's departure from Bravo. What kind of truths do you think NeNe has up her sleeves, Monty? And how do you feel about all of this playing out?
She has to have a lot of truths being part of the show for so long. There's definitely some stuff that she's held on to, and I'm sure we're going to hear about it. But this whole situation, honestly, like, Probably not a popular opinion, but I am not a fan of Wendy Williams at all. I don't think she is a genuine person. And so here she is calling out that Nene just likes drama. It's like, I think you're the same way. I think you also like drama. So I think you tend to say things to stir the pot a little bit as well. So I don't know why she went on to say that. I know that their friendship has been up and down, still down, all that stuff. Who really knows what's going on between them as friends? But I don't want Nene to not be in the show. And I hope this really has not, they're talking about negotiations. And if this is about money, come on, bro. Don't you have enough money? Could you just come to a conclusion and like be on the show? You know, fans love you. Come on, like do it, because the show will not be the same without you. You're an OG. And if don't leave just for money. If there are other issues, okay, then, you know, you do you, girl, and do what's best for you. But I hope this isn't just an exit because they couldn't come to an agreement.
Right. And I agree with you. You know, I think something that has been very open and out in the press is that they were kind of in contract negotiations and they couldn't really arrive at an agreement. So what's not being told in this story is that, you know, I think they wanted to work it out and both sides didn't feel that, you know, they could arrive at an agreement. So that's kind of where this originally started from, is what I'm getting. I also think that, you know, Wendy and her have had issues before. I think Wendy allegedly says that she didn't know she was being taped in a phone call with Nene that was then put on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so they've had, you know, up and downs. And like you said, you know, Wendy, she's all about the hot topics. It is her job to kind of spill the drama and talk about the drama and gossip just like we're doing here. So, you know, she does enjoy it just as much. But, you know, whereas Wendy said something like that'd be a little boring, and Nene necessarily coming for Wendy's addictions and something that she's been open about, she's been to rehab for, you know, it's something very serious. I don't necessarily think, I think it was a little below the belt. Also, you know, claiming that Andy is a racist and all of that. At this point, I think that I just want to hear Nene's truth. If she has something to talk about, let's hear it. Let's get it out there. Let's get her voice heard. Because at this point, I just think that this is all getting messy. And let's hear her truth. You know what I mean?
Totally agree with you, girl. Let's hear what you have to say, because we're over here speculating. So give us a little bit more info, and that way we're not just guessing and speculating. But yeah, the drama between them is like, I agree that the comment about the drugs, it's like, oh, Nene, what? Why? How did you think that was going to go over well? That's what happens when you start arguing with somebody. Like, somebody says something rude to you, and then you want to say something worse, and then they want to say something worse. And even though they might not mean it, it's like escalated to something beyond probably what they were trying to do.
Right, exactly. Now, if Nene does not, you know, if they can't figure this out, I know you said you want Nene on the show, who else would you like to see in Nene's place?
Oh, man. I don't think you can replace Nene. It would just be getting somebody else. I don't think whoever goes and fills in her shoes, if she doesn't come back to the show, because she might come back to the show. I don't think it's for sure. That's what I think. But whoever does replace her is not replacing Nene. That's not how it should be said. It should just be there is a new cast member joining. But it should not be that this person is replacing Nene. Nene is a lot to replace. And let's not do that to her. Again, like, give her credit. She was there for so long. She's an OG. No, let's not do that to her. I can't think of somebody right now to replace her, but let's not say that person is replacing Nene. Let's not put it like that.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to bring it to the T-Tribe then. T-Tribe, do you have any thoughts on who we could replace Nene with? You know, Monsi, and I agree with you, Nene is an icon in her own way, and sometimes there are just some housewives that you can't necessarily replace, but you can add. This is like kind of the time in Real Housewives franchises where they really shake it up, where they need to bring like 3 at a time to kind of make up for the one. You know what I mean? They just bring them from every kind of place of the world. Oh, Brittany says, do you think Kenya Moore will come back now that Nene is gone? What do you think, Monty?
I don't think so. I don't. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it should be somebody completely different. And maybe, like you said, maybe bring in like 3. Like, give us something else to talk about.
Yeah. Olivia saying Marlo. Pop Culture Productions is saying Nene is one of a kind, so it's hard to think about someone. I agree.
Exactly.
Randy saying Nene is iconic. She can't be replaced. Fessy saying these ladies are bringing the spice in the tea. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Tea today. Alante saying, girl, I don't know, LOL. I know, it's hard. It's hard when you have someone so iconic.
Right.
Pretty Evie saying no one boop. I think we already talked about that. All right, well, I guess we will just have to stay tuned. But at the end of the day, we just want Nene's truth to come out. So if she really has something to say, let her say it. Stop teasing us. Stop teasing us. We got to get the tea. We got to get the tea. Lois says Nene retires more than Cher.
Wesley, so good.
Wesley's saying Alexa play Irreplaceable by Beyonce. To the left, exactly. To the left.
I'm with you, girl. I was with you. Let's go.
No, it doesn't have to be someone from Atlanta. No, it definitely has to be someone from Atlanta. Here's what the Housewives have gotten a little loose with their casting, because I don't know if you guys know, but 3 of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills actually live in Encino, California, which is in the Valley. It's not in Beverly Hills. So sometimes, with, Tinsley on Real Housewives of New York, she's moved to Chicago. I wonder if they'll ever kind of bring her back from Chicago. Sometimes they do take people from other places. So
there just has to be some sort of connection to the original location. But I'm not against that. I'm not against, as long as there's some sort of tie-in, I'm not against it.
Exactly. All right. Well, something that we are against, and I know because you and I spoke about this before the show, is this next story about Max Eric and saying he got dumped via tabloids. So this is pretty crazy. So Max Eric spilled some major tea in his breakup with Demi Lovato over the weekend, as fans continued to speculate about why the engagement was called off. So get this. So posting to his Insta story early Saturday morning, Max wrote, quote, "Imagine finding out to the status of your relationship through a tabloid." Then he said, "While you're in the middle of filming a biopic movie about a pastor in a Christian church whose intention of the film is to help people." Now, Demi announced their breakup last week, sending the internet into a frenzy over the whirlwind relationship and its shocking conclusion. So first of all, do you think Max is telling the truth, Monty?
No, of course not. Come on, bro. Like, the way he handled that, I don't know much about this dude. Let me say that. I'm not a fan of his. I didn't know much about him until I know he's an actor, but I don't know much about him. But this whole whirlwind of a romance, I wanted it to work because I like Demi. You want her to do well and you want her to be happy. She's gone through a lot. But this was handled so nasty. Like, that was not cute, dude. One, I don't believe you. And then your second comment of like, while I'm filming this thing as a pastor, blah, blah, blah. Please, boy, like, you're making it about you. And it's not. If you were respecting your relationship that you had with Demi, you wouldn't have put that. If this was something you respected, he would have never put that.
Right. No, I agree. At the beginning of this relationship, before the tweets came out, before all of this kind of information was presented, I was happy to see Demi happy. So I was kind of excited for the relationship at first look. Then I started seeing things unfold, and then this comes out at the end, and it's like, listen, it was out in the press that you guys were not doing well. It was on the verge of a breakup. This is not coming out of left field for Max. So for him to say that, he's looking for sympathy. At the same time, if you look at this man's Instagram, his entire grid is him in the, acting in this movie, promoting this movie. There's nothing about Demi on there. What I would like to see as a fan to truly believe that he was shocked and found out through the tabloid and so devastated is kind of a post of him and Demi and this long kind of elaborate paragraph of how much he loved her. There's none of that. There's none of that kind of genuine, care and kind of hurt from someone that was caught off guard and shocked by this. At the end of the day, he's continuing to promote this movie, and I really just don't feel sympathy for him. I feel like he knew what was going on, and he doesn't have the right intentions, and that's why she left him in the first place.
And it's like kind of like piggyback on what you said. Imagine if he would have taken to his story where he's looking at the camera and we see him express himself, not plug his movie, but say something like, hey guys, I just want you to know, like, I'm super sad about this. I actually didn't know this was happening. If you really wanted to tell us, you could have handled it differently. That's my problem,
Exactly. And the best part about this, so I don't know if you guys saw, but I see you in the chat. Karina saying, I'm glad that she's not even giving it attention. She's just watching fights. So on Demi's story this weekend, she was watching UFC. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Demi used to date a UFC player, Luke Rockhold was his name. So I love that she's kind of giving like a dig in a way. She's moving on. Maybe she'll date Luke again. I'm just, swirling rumors, or maybe she'll get another UFC guy, but she's obviously not worried about it, and as she should be. Demi deserves to be happy, and this guy, unfortunately, is not the guy. So I'm happy, sooner, it's better to figure this out sooner rather than later. You know what I mean?
100%. And it makes perfect sense that this happened now, because they started dating at the beginning of a pandemic when you were just alone. It was just them two. Now, slowly, everyone's going back to work, and they're figuring out, oh, life with you in the real world is not so great. I didn't know that.
You're my quarantine boo, and it may not work out. And at least,
And I love that. Quarantine boo. You need to coin that. Quarantine boo. That's good.
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, I think for a lot of fans, this is good news. Of course, breaking off an engagement is not something to celebrate or be happy about. But when it's someone that may not have the right intentions, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise. You dodged a bullet before it could really, really hurt her. So, all right. Well, let's move on to our new music spotlight. Of course, T-Tribe, we're still looking for a name for this. So if you have any thoughts, get them in the chat, because we will arrive at a name by the end of this week. We said last week, but things happen. And this week, we're going to do it. So if you have any ideas, let us know in the comments. Also, after sippers. All right, Monsi, we're talking about BTS. So K-pop fans, get excited. BTS announced their next studio album over the weekend, and the new album, titled BE, is set to drop November 20th. Pre-orders for the first run go live today, so go get them. If you want the album, you can get it today. The album will include their smash hit Dynamite, and is reported to have major involvement by the band members in the writing, composing, design, and production of the new music. So this news comes alongside the band preparing for their week-long stint on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, starting tonight. So all week long, BTS will be featured on the show and will be doing skits, comedy, and musical performances. So, as we know, BTS continues to cement themselves in the American music world with huge performances at the VMAs and America's Got Talent and many more. So, Monty, are you excited for the new album? And what do you think of the band's special kind of week-long event at Jimmy Fallon?
So I'm definitely looking forward to the new album. I'm not part of the army, but maybe after the album, maybe watching them on Jimmy, maybe I'll join the army. But I do like them, and I'm looking forward because I like Jimmy Fallon. I think he's really great with his guests. And I'm looking forward to maybe, call me crazy, but what if one of their musical performances has somebody else with them, like like Ariana Grande? I'm just throwing her out there. But what if we get like a special performance with somebody else this week on the Jimmy Fallon show? Because a week is a long time. That is
Right.
dang, you guys got a whole week? Jesus. I'm looking forward to maybe some surprises, stuff we're not expecting.
I completely agree. That would be awesome. We know BTS is not a stranger to collabs. You know, Halsey. There's a lot. There's a lot of people that could join and surprise. Yeah, like you said, I don't think I've ever really seen kind of a week-long residency on the show. Like people are very excited about BTS. They're really pushing this and them kind of infiltrating the American market. And they're talented and they're great and they deserve it. I'm excited to see kind of them in skits and, comedy and kind of see this new light of BTS that we may not know. So that'll be exciting. Plus, huge fan of Jimmy Fallon. So anything he does on the show, I'm going to watch, and I absolutely love him. So he's going to make it great. So I'm excited.
Totally with you. Yeah.
T-Tribe, are you excited? Are you going to watch BTS, a week-long event on Jimmy Fallon? Oh, Mara Cielo is saying, I love them, with heart emojis. Wesley says they will release a song with Jason Derulo this Friday, so maybe Jason is the guest.
Oh.
Ooh. Wesley? All right. I mean, Jason Derulo would be amazing. We know.
Yes, that would be a nice little collab.
Yes, for sure. I also think, like you said, BTS and Ariana would be amazing. Ooh,
and
okay.
Ariana loves Jimmy too.
You're right. They have a special relationship.
They do. I would love to see that. I would love for it to be like a surprise. Here's Ariana. She's going to sing with them. Oh, I would die a little bit and then come back to life.
Oh my gosh. Alante saying, no, but I'll watch the Insta clips. LOL. Thank God for social media. Actually, speaking of social media, I don't know if you guys have seen the Social Impact, the Social Dilemma on Netflix. Have you seen that, Monty?
I have not.
Okay. So, guys, it just, I'm not going to go on a whole tangent right now, but if you haven't seen the Social Dilemma, it's a must-see. It's all these, like, former executives at Facebook and Twitter, and they explain what social media has done to us, the good and bad, but mostly the bad, and it's pretty crazy. So if you have some time, check out the Social Dilemma on Netflix. This is not an ad, but bringing up social media, you do have the opportunity to see things that you may have missed. So great.
You watched it and you haven't deleted any of your social media?
No. Basically, they end it with delete all your social media. Loa says yes, twice, so good. Yeah, it's pretty good. I haven't deleted my social media, but it did get me thinking, should I delete my social media? And it did make me, acknowledge that maybe, it's a little worse than I thought it was. But these are things that it's not that surprising. We've heard these things before, but when you really get a full documentary about it, it's crazy. Evie says, watch the weekend, made us straight zombies, but I still sip the tea. True.
I mean, I haven't watched it. My parents watched it, and one of my best friends watched it. And what they've told me, I'm literally like seconds away from deleting my Facebook. Not everything else, but my Facebook, I'm very close to just saying, you know what? I don't need Facebook. And Facebook, I don't know about you guys, Facebook is the one that pisses me off the most. Like when people who I'm friends with, what they write on that's the one that brings me the most stress. It's like, does it bring me joy? No, it does not bring me joy.
Right? It's true. And it just kind of, with the algorithm and just kind of, it follows everything you do. And one of the people on of course we're getting on a tangent, but one of the people on the documentary, this is the last thing I'll say, was the co-creator of the like button on Facebook. Think about the like button and how powerful and that has been in pop culture. Like, did you like it? We never said that before in that kind of way, and people also, the detriment to society the like has given, not getting enough likes on your photos and what that can do to your mental health. And it's just pretty crazy. So if you guys have any time, it's scary, but it's a must watch. And Monty, you got to watch it. So make sure this week, time. Okay. Well, if you're not watching The Social Dilemma, you can watch Blackpink this Thursday. So this is exciting. K-pop fans, stay excited because we have more new music news coming out of South Korea. Blackpink announced over the weekend that they will be performing a live stream event this Thursday, October 1st, via the South Korean live streaming service, V Live, at 9 p.m. Eastern. So this event is in anticipation of their next album drop this Friday for The Album, Blackpink's debut Korean language album and their second album overall. So this news came with a flurry of social media activity promoting the new album, with teaser clips and images being posted to the band's social channels to help promote. So, are you excited for the new album, T-Tribe and Monsi? And will you tune in for the live streaming event this Thursday?
Probably not the live stream event, but I am excited to hear I am super excited. I like them. I think I'm more of a Blackpink fan than BTS for no reason. That's just right now how I feel. But I think I'm more into Blackpink, and I'm super looking forward to it. I think they're so cute. They're super fun. It's like, girls, let's hang out. That's what I want to tell them, you know?
Right? I completely agree. I think, with Ice Cream coming out, with our girl Selena, I mean, I love that song. It really, that bubblegum pop kind of inspiration behind it really got me, and I'm totally a fan. I was a fan of Blackpink before, but even more of a fan after that song. So I'm excited to kind of possibly tune into this live stream. T-Tribe, will you be tuning in? I think what I really want to see is if BTS gets a residency at Jimmy Fallon, then we need our girls, Blackpink, Girl Power, getting a residency on some other talk show. What do you think about that?
100%. They should totally do it. And even if it was Jimmy too, why not? Also, I just like Jimmy Fallon, and I think his show is such a variety show. So we would just see them in a lot of different lights. They could go with James Corden, and James Corden is fine. But his stuff would be just a little bit one-dimensional. It would just be about singing and like having fun. With Jimmy, we would see a lot of stuff.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that they deserve it just as much as anyone. So it could be on Jimmy. I'd take James Corden too. I absolutely love him as well. Anything, but give the girls some airtime too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Crystal says, yes, can't wait for the new album Friday. Wesley's saying The Album is such a meh name. Lovesick Girls would be a better name. Okay, Wesley. Walante says, I love me some Blackpink. Brittany's saying sour candy. Oh, Evelyn saying they are the cutest. Cecilia saying ice cream is actually good. Cloud's got those ice cream emojis in the chat. All right, well, we're looking forward to it. Evelyn says, not the live stream, but the album song. Yeah, you really got to take some time out of your day to make it to the live stream. Ooh, I want to shout out Maya in the chat. She's saying, so happy I finally made the live chat. Hello from Honolulu, Hawaii. Wow, I am jealous of your life right now, Maya. I would love to be in Honolulu, Hawaii. Monty, have you ever been to Hawaii?
I've never been to Hawaii. And I'm sure I would love it. I love the beach. I love the sun. Give me a tan, give me a cocktail. Let me lay on the beach. Perfect vacation for me. But I've never made it that way.
I saw my first concert in Hawaii, and it was the Rolling Stones. Like, is that not a story? Like, I love whenever I tell someone that's the reaction they have, because that was my first concert in Hawaii.
That's awesome.
To Babylon. I mean, it's probably after their time, but still the Rolling Stones and Hawaii. So that's my memory.
Jealous.
Yeah.
Super.
It was pretty iconic. It kind of fell into place. I don't even know how it happened, but back to Hawaii, it is beautiful. And, I have some friends that are actually quarantining there right now. I have a girlfriend, she's half Hawaiian. She's with her grandparents, and she's just living the life. And I just love it. Jealous of that.
Yeah.
Want to go back. Okay.
Let's go, Alex. Let's just take a break and go to Hawaii.
Well, before we head to Hawaii, we got to get into the Car Jenner Gates, because it is time for our car Jenner tea time. And normally, you know, our Courtney takes it away, but we're just ready for our car Jenner tea time. Just like that, we're right in the gates. It's really easy. So first up, we're talking about Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott sneaking out on dinner dates. So Kylie and Travis have been reportedly sneaking past the paparazzi to grab dinner over the last few weeks, an insider told Hollywood Life. Quote, Kylie and Travis are spending a good amount of time together right now. They have snuck out to dinner without getting photographed on a few occasions, at least in the last few weeks alone. They try to be discreet about it because they don't want all the chatter that follows. So the source, however, was quick to downplay any potential for the co-parents to get back together anytime soon, saying, quote, they will always have chemistry between them, but they're not together and are not discussing getting back together. They just have a strong connection and like to spend time together. Neither one of them are looking for more right now. So either this is the best separated co-parenting situation we've ever seen or something is amiss. So, you know, Kylie and Travis have been swerving around dating rumors since they broke up last fall. And since then, you know, they've been in each other's lives regardless because of Stormy. So do you think that there's any indication that these two are getting back together? Do you think they're just friends having some dinner dates, friend dates? What do you think about this, Monty?
I always sit and wonder what a conversation between Kylie and Travis would be like. I can't even imagine. So
right?
they have to like each other. There's no way they're spending time like this and not like each other. But I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think this is all to control the narrative of theirs. You know, I always wonder, I'm like, who is this source? What source are we talking about here?
Right.
Because I think that's what they're trying to do, but they have to like each other. They have to like each other like as people, and they probably really do enjoy each other's company. You know?
Yes.
But I would love to be a fly on the wall and listen to a conversation between those two at a restaurant.
Right? That's what I'm saying. It's like, what are they talking about? You know, obviously their daughter, but like,
for sure.
I don't know. This is just not me. Like, I personally, when I'm done with a relationship, the only way I'm having dinner with you is if I'm interested in getting back together. You know what I mean? Like, I am very black and white in that. And if there's a gray area, and usually there's been some conversations that there's a potential reconcile at the end of this, you know? But I understand people can be friends and co-parent and do that. And that's very healthy if someone can do that. And I admire that. But I just don't think it's over for them. I think they're going to get back together. I just think that they're very much still in love with each other, and it will happen. Maybe not now, but it will happen.
I only disagree with you a little bit because they have a kid together. So I think if they didn't have a kid, then it's like, yeah, I don't want to go have dinner with you. Why am I going to have dinner with you unless there's something happening? So they have to have a relationship, and especially because of their child. So I do think this could just be like, we genuinely enjoy each other's company. I'm going to talk to you about my Jordans. You're going to talk to me about your Kylie skin makeup, and we're going to have a great night and go back to our house and take care of Stormy. So I don't think they're gonna get back together. But I could be way wrong. They like to throw all these curveballs at us, so we'll see.
The only reason I think that is because Kylie seems like a very kind of monogamous one guy girl. You know, before Travis, it was Tyga. You know, she always has been in these long-term relationships. So I think it's what she likes. So I think it's healthy that they do have a friendship, but I also think, like, why are they worried about people taking photos then? If it's nothing, if it's just friends, because people are going to talk, of course. T-Tribe, what do you think? Rosa said, kidding me, well, my baby's father will throw him out. You think I want to sit down with him just because I had his daughter? No. Oh, okay. Rosa's coming in with some tea. She is not having a drink. Lois says sometimes with the family pressure, it's easier to reconcile. Yeah, that speaks to your point. I think that, you know, sometimes they just want to have a healthy relationship for their daughter. And I think that's great. Tiffany says, oh, they are totally back together. Kylie is the queen of keeping the public in the dark. All signs point to them being back together. It's more than Stormy. Okay. All right. Keisha says they probably just want to hook up. They are comfortable with each other and it's better than spreading yourself around. That's very true too. You know what? We could just call it as it is. Maybe they just are a little lonely in quarantine. And they do have love for each other. But we will stay tuned and of course always follow this relationship because we got to keep up with the Kardashians with or without a show. So speaking of shows, listen to this. This is crazy. While rumors of Kris Jenner joining Real Housewives of Beverly Hills have been shut down in recent weeks, get this. Kardashian Jenner fans may have the chance to see another member of the family joining the Housewives, and it's not who you think. So TMZ reports that Caitlyn Jenner and her friend Sophia Hutchins have been in talks with Bravo to join the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast, who have recently been rocked with 2 castmates leaving this past season. So Sophia is reportedly in talks to join as a housewife and Caitlyn as a friend of the show. But having both of the celebs on would be a major get for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, people are saying. Now, so many fans have been petitioning to get Kris on as a cast member and were disappointed in the news that she won't be on the show. Do you think having Caitlyn on instead will help scratch that itch of the Keeping Up with the Kardashian fans? What do you think, Monty?
No. Caitlyn is not Kris. And so it's not going to give us that itch or even fulfill that want or need to see Kris. And I think it's smart for Kris to not do this because it's going to change her whole image and who she is. So I think it's very smart of her to just be a friend that comes on the show occasionally and not one of the cast members. I think that's super smart of her. But I really don't think bringing Caitlyn onto the show will give us what we want. And I actually don't see it being successful. Caitlyn is very, normal. Like there's no drama to her. I don't think she would bring anything to the table. And in these types of shows, I need you to bring something. You can't just sit there looking cute and having a cocktail. You have to bring something.
Exactly. And I see you guys in the chat saying are Caitlyn and Sophia together is what I think you're asking. So Caitlyn has come out in many interviews saying they're not romantically involved. I don't think they've ever kind of publicly admitted that, but they were very much kind of together publicly on social media right after Caitlyn kind of came out and transitioned. So it's like, we don't know what's going on. So that's a whole nother story. However, it's interesting that Sophia was reportedly in talks to join as a housewife and then Caitlyn was a friend of the show. It sounds like it should be the other way around. And I think the only way Caitlyn Jenner would work on the show is if Kris Jenner was also involved because that would create some drama. Caitlyn alone, like you said, doesn't really add much to the drama aspect of the show. It would add a different kind of spin and give some insight into, her life and all of that we may not necessarily have. But we had I Am Kate, and I don't think I Am Kate got picked up for a second season. So maybe people aren't as interested in learning about Caitlyn as much as they would like to see Kris on the show. But like I said, if they put the two of them on, that would be a show that everyone would watch. But I agree with your point also that Kris could control her image on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, as she should. We now think of Kris Jenner as this, power woman, momager of the year, just, amazing. Businesswoman, icon. If you bring it to Real Houses of Beverly Hills, sometimes it brings other sides and it kind of muddles with the water. So she's smart, smart woman.
Such a smart woman. That you cannot deny. Even if you don't like Kris Jenner, she is so brilliant in the way she has handled this whole entity of Kardashian Jenner. Like, it is so impressive what she has managed to do over the years and still and still makes the right decisions. Like, yes, you should not be a cast member of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but you should show up every now and then. That's smart.
Right. I agree. So Kathy Hilton is also rumored to be joining, which of course would be a seamless transition, having, Kyle already on the show. It would make sense. You know, we'd get the Hilton brand involved. We'd have Paris Hilton sightings. We'd have, you know, Nicole Richie sightings. We could have like, you know, other people bringing it way back. I don't know if Nicole Richie would be on the show, but you know what I mean? Like we would kind of get the Kris Jenner aspect, possibly storyline involved because, you know, Kim and Paris are close friends, so to speak. You know, they've been in the public lately, kind of trending, sticking up for one another. So it could add the Kar Jenner spin that we may want through Kathy Hilton and then the whole Hilton brand that we're looking for.
Seriously, it would bring in so many other avenues with her. We could grab so many different people from on every episode. Like, it's crazy. I think that's a smart idea. That's a smart move. Smart cast.
Right? All right. So I lied earlier. I Am Kate did get a second season. I don't think it got picked up for a third season. However, still to our point, I think Kris Jenner would be better than Caitlyn Jenner casting. Brittany said if Kathy comes on the cast, it'll be eye-opening on how her and Kyle actually get along, because I feel like in the earlier seasons that it makes it look like Kyle and Kathy don't get along. Very true. Good point, Brittany. I do think that they actually have a better relationship than it was first presented. So good point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's move on to this Kim and Kanye date night, because not only are Kylie and Travis having a date night, but Kim and Kanye look as though they're still trying to make things work between them despite a rocky last couple of months. So Kim posted to her Insta story yesterday a picture of herself with Kanye at a friend's wedding celebration with the caption, "Date night." So an insider spoke to ET last week regarding Kim and Kanye's marriage, saying despite a rough patch, they continue to support one another and work on their marriage. Now, she also said, or the source said, the couple still makes time for one another when they can, but they aren't strangers to spending periods of time apart because they're both so busy. Couples go through up and downs, but Kim and Kanye have love for one another that others can't always see. Now, there have been a lot of ups and downs surrounding Kimye over the last few months, especially in regards to Kanye's tweets and the presidential campaign. Do you think that media outlets have been blowing this out of proportion in regards to Kim and kind of looking to divorce Kanye? Or does this look at an attempt at, you know, a reconciliation on the couple's part? Do you think that Kim is still working hard to make this marriage last? Kim and Kanye.
So I think that they do have love between them. I think their relationship is a lot more real than the paparazzi and that we make it out to be. You know, do we exaggerate their stories? Of course we do, because they're the talk of the town and they have been for years. So we might be, you know, dragging stuff, exaggerating things, but the fact that there is love, there are still problems that are very visible between them. And with that post that that we just showed everybody, where it's just their feet, I was like, how do we know that that's Kanye?
Like, I said the same exact thing when I saw that. How do we know?
We don't.
T-Tribe.
We don't.
Do you have any more insight? Maybe he's worn those boots. And, you know, the T-Tribe, they are detectives, so they will know the answers if he has worn those boots in a photograph before or anything. But that is very, very true. We don't necessarily know if it's Kanye, but we assume. And we obviously take her word for it. But yeah, I was like, it's interesting that he's not in any of the photos though. We just got a foot, and makes me wonder, again, she's trying to save face. She's probably trying to calm the conversation about them in the public eye. But I do think that there is love, and I do think she wants to make it work. And that's probably why she's trying to be like, no, we're good. Stop talking about us so that we can figure it out without all these influences coming in from all over the world, you know? Right. Yeah, no, I agree. You know, sometimes, unfortunately, love isn't enough. And I want to shout out Loa in the chat saying he needs professional help, and as long as he's refusing it, they will never work long term. I'm sure they love each other, but he won't help himself. What can you do after that but protect yourself? And I think that's something that Kim struggles with daily, is kind of deciding whether love is enough, and do I want to kind of, you know, at the end of the day, they do have children together, and that's something that we can't forget. It's like this is not necessarily just a marriage, but a family being broken up in some ways, you know. However, if they can have, you know, a healthy co-parenting relationship after, that can work also. So it's up to, I guess, Kim to kind of decide whether she can handle it anymore or not.
Yeah. And I feel bad for her because it can't be easy to be in this situation with everybody watching you as you're trying to help Kanye, be with Kanye, and then be there for your own kids, because they have to start hearing this stuff too. You know, they're getting to the age where they have to be hearing the rumbles and what people are saying out in the real world. So she has to be in a really tough position trying to navigate how to move forward, whether it's staying together or not. She's in a tough spot.
Exactly, 100%. All right, guys. Well, it is time for our OMT story of the day. And we're talking about Jordyn Woods opening up about the scandal. So Jordyn appeared on the Hillsong channel's Now with Natalie and spoke with host Natalie Manuel Lee about how the scandal affected her life and relationships. So the interview was shot at the beginning of the year before the pandemic. So this was shot, months ago, but it was just released this weekend. And in the interview, Jordyn spoke about how she was impacted by the news when it broke. So she said, quote, "I remember just sitting in a very dark place. I had my family to talk to. I had you to talk to, but I just felt like I had no one. You take everything you think you know for a whole decade, the people you think you know, the life you think you know, everything that you've grown up doing, and you take it all away from someone. I didn't even know how to feel." So Jordyn recalled isolating herself after severe backlash online once the news broke of the scandal because she couldn't trust anyone and push people away that she shouldn't have. But she also learned to accept what happened and did so by acknowledging her faults in the incident, which she feels, quote, "People in this generation lack accountability, and when you can't accept what you've done or you can't accept that, then you can't heal from it." So then Jordyn went on to speak about how she handles the experience and how she used it to move forward, saying, quote, "I'm not happy that people were hurt and people had to go through what they went through. It was a lot for everyone, my family, other families, friends, and not in a million years have I had a negative intention to do something bad to anyone I love. I wouldn't say I'm happy something like that happened, but I'm happy I was able to become who I am today." So since the scandal, Jordyn has done a lot to set up her own brand and move out of the shadow of the Kar-Jenner family. She has been successful with a modeling career, appearances on Grownish, The Masked Singer, and last week went public with her relationship with basketball player Karl Anthony Towns. So a close friend spoke to People magazine earlier this year and said that Jordyn and Kylie have not been in touch. So the Kar-Jenners have been notoriously quiet about Jordyn since early 2019, but they've forgiven Tristan. He's going to be on the show. Things are good in that state. When do you think, or do you think Jordyn will ever get an apology publicly?
I don't think she's going to get it. I don't think, and if it happens, it's definitely not going to be public. And I don't think that even if she gets this apology, that their friendship or their relationship will go back to what it was.
Right.
So we want to compare it to what's happening with Tristan, that they've forgiven him. Yeah, he made his mistakes, lots of them. I don't know if I could forgive him, but that's a separate conversation. But he is the baby daddy. So obviously that's different than Jordyn. Jordyn has nothing left to tie her into this group. And it sucks. What is the saying? You make your bed and you lie in it.
Right.
And I think that's just where she is right now, and she's not going to get the apology, and it's good for her. Move on, let it go. You made a terrible mistake because these people were your family, they trusted you, but it doesn't make you a terrible person. It's just, this happened, you got to live with it. I'm glad she's moving on.
Right. I agree. I think it's healthiest for her to just move on and kind of, establish herself outside of the Kar-Jenner family. For many people that didn't know who Jordyn was, she was Kylie Jenner's best friend. And, she, as her own person, deserves more than that. Like you said, she made a mistake. Loa, you are on fire today. She said she had fault too, didn't deserve what she was dealing with, but not innocent. which I agree. Tristan is a baby daddy. He's family. Jordyn isn't. It will never happen. And I think that's something that Khloe made known that, and the family, that they considered Jordyn almost like a sister, an extended part of the family. And while, like you said, they still have with True, they still have a connection. Tristan still has a connection to the family. Jordyn doesn't necessarily have that connection anymore. And I think if an apology comes, it'll be a private apology. It'll be years from now. But I do think that it'll only help the healing of Khloe. I think if Khloe has decided, hey, listen, this guy made a mistake. I love him. I want to be with him. Take it or leave it kind of thing. Then I think it'll be, healthy for her to also kind of close that chapter also. And, but maybe, who's to say she wants to forgive Jordyn? You know what I mean? That's her decision.
Yep.
She may not feel that Jordyn deserves an apology. But like we said, at the end of the day, we're happy to see Jordyn doing well for herself. And, life can go on. And even though people make mistakes in life, you can grow from it. You can learn from it. And it seems through her, through this interview that she has. And that's all that matters.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, T-Tribe, on that note, that is all the tea we have to spill today. And that was a big Monday for us. Thank you again, Monse, for joining us on the show and hanging out with us. And of course, we will be back tomorrow, 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Monse will not be back, but Amy Cassandra Martinez will be back to spill some tea. And then Monse, you will be back Wednesday, right?
I will. Yeah. Super stoked.
Get excited. She will be back on Wednesday to spill some more tea. And if they want more of you, Monse, where can they find you?
You can find me across social media at Monse Bolanos. I'll probably delete my Facebook, as I said, but you can still find me on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, and of course, our Celeb News Bites. Monse also does that for us on Hollyscoop channels, so make sure to check her out there. And you can find me at Alex Schiffman on all social media. And on that note, Courtney, we're still gonna wash our hands as we exit, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, stay safe, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.